Hello everybody, it's me Baby Couscous, and I am back with another video. This video is going to be interesting. I will be reading a Twitter thread that essentially explains that Super Mario 64 is a ritual that prepares people for a Freemasonry and the Illuminati. I don't know how they got the idea from a children's game, but it's there. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. Alright, this thing starts out strong by saying Super Mario 64 is a Freemasonic and Illuminist digital ritual. Yep, I'm sure the Japanese care a lot about what historically happened in Europe and the States. The game begins in this Masonic hall. Yep. There is the checkerboard floor, symbolic of the world of polarizing opposites, the physical world on which the ritual is based. There is also a solar disc, red carpet, and the hall is 3 layers. Yeah. The coins in this game are actually pentacles, and they are the coins from tarot and the occult symbolism. In this game, you play as the role of Mercury-type character traveling onto Earth and between the realms. Yeah. The first map is a trail that winds up a giant mountain with obstacles in the way. This is an extremely common occult image found, for example, in Rosicrucianism. At the top of this mountain is usually some regal symbol that embodies divinity. Is King Babam divine? At the top of this mountain is a king who Mario battles and dethrones. The second level is a floating world. Japan has essentially been under nefarious Illuminati-esque control for some time. Nintendo began as a company that has made cards that some use for divination. This floating world symbolizes must be viewed in that context. Games are in this new world. In this level, Mario meets an owl. The owl instructs. Are you talking about like the club? What is it called? Club Bohemia. Instructs looked at a shadow. The owl is in this level. Mario meets an owl. The owl instructs you to look into his shadow. Owl is probably the most classic secret society symbol. Is on the dollar bill. The DC layout associates with Athena, etc. So he's talking about Club Bohemia. The owl ride drops you into a caged island. You must consider that groups like Skull and Bones do ritual magic with each other. Of course, they work with. They would think millions of people enacting these archetypal and specific situations could affect their psyche, somewhat, something collective. Yep, that's what I gleaned from playing King or the Thwomp's Fortress, whatever. And in Freemasonic rituals, they will put you into a coffin and have you enact your own death. That's kind of freaky. In the next level, Mario descends into a sunken pirate ship, descending into the depth of the water and coming back up again. Pirates as a theme is also symbolic. Who goes to, what is that level? Who goes to, I always go to Cool Mountain, not, Jolly Roger Bay. Jolly Roger Bay is a nice level, but you always go to Cool Mountain after Thwomp's Fortress. The Knights Templar are one link in the chain of secret societies according to their own mythology. After the Knights Templar were forced to go underground, their navy went underground as well, and re-emerged as suddenly ubiquitous faux rogue, am I retarded? Faux rogue pirate ships. The pirate ship flag with Skull and Bones is actually the skull of Jacques de Molay. And his 2 thigh bones that other knights failed to find when they came to collect his bones after his execution. This is one reason why pirate stuff is pushed by Hollywood so hard. Look, man, whenever I think of pirates, I think of Captain Jack Sparrow and Blackbeard. I don't think of Freemasons and the Knights Templar. But whatever. Games like this will often feature a pirate level for this reason, as an allusion to this. It is also forcing you to perform mock baptism of yourself in digital water. Mario never starts in the water in any of these water levels. He submerges himself every time, moving on. Because no one would want to start a water level. Mario 64 is all about liberation and freedom. Nobody would want to start in the water because the water sucks. Next up is this Snow Mountain level. Just going to cut to the chase. The elite use certain concepts like the popular area of Antarctica to delude people and keep them in the dark about reality. Antarctica is not what people think. Honestly, yeah. Things like this are mocking you, basically. I don't think Antarctica has trees and stuff, though. There's not a apostrophe on that but there's this star where a snowman loses his head. The main mystery Babylon dark religion myth is that of Osiris, mainly him being dismembered and Isis questing for his body parts. You will see allusions to this in rituals. Obelisks are the missing phallus of Osiris. So whenever kids go build a snowman outside, they're building an obelisk to Osiris. Whatever. So far, we have been through the Grand Hall, climbed a mountain and killed a king. An owl dropped us into a cage. We were submerged in water and found a severed head and rebuilt a body after Mario descends into the basement for the next part of the ritual. But in that level, the snowman rebuilt itself. It just followed Mario. Whatever. Going to continue this thread right now and just making some white tea. Mario proceeds down a long hallway into a courtyard. This is Mario moving into a special niche altar. El is Real is a niche altar, usually located in a certain cardinal direction set aside from the main temple. He is in the shadow behind the castle, and in the center of the courtyard is this sculpture. Inside a small baptismal fountain, 8 sides, is a star atop a pyramid, that is missing its top. Pyramid with its missing capstone is either a Masonic symbol, i.e. on the dollar, and on certain buildings. So the El is Real statue is the Illuminati. Or Bass Pro Shop. The missing capstone is the missing phallus of Osiris. Mentioned this before, but when Osiris was killed and dismembered, caught by his brother, his wife had to go find all his parts. She couldn't find the phallus, instead crafted one of gold so she could remake him. This is what the obelisk is in mystery / Babylon, or Babylon / Masonic symbolism. The missing capstone is also this missing piece, the lost word of Freemasonry. When Isis finds this piece, she can conceive her son Horus from the newly remade Osiris. Anyway, on this plaque it says something about something. Most people think it says El is Real. That's what I'm saying. And then a number. I would really believe believe this, but apparently some guy wrote a letter to Nintendo, and the letter calls it the El is Real message, but says it's just a meaningless joke they put for no reason. Yeah, because that same plaque is found in Ocarina of Time. It's just stock text. El is Real. That's interesting. It means Luigi. You're basing this argument off of nothing. Okay, buddy. What could this number be? These groups are often use a different dating system. See Al. Al literally. Anno Lucius and the pick. But honestly wouldn't normally speculate on something like this, but thought the letter was interesting, if real. Anno Lucius, Wikipedia. And in this level, Mario descends into the world of the dead, Boo Mansion. And the secret society ritual I am discussing, you are killed in some symbolic way, often locked in a coffin or something, and then then you are reborn newly as a member of the organization or initiated group. In this level, there are enemies that are big eyes that watch you. There's also a boss with a giant eye who, to kill him, you have to let him watch you, and then circumambulate him. Circumambulation, walking around something, is a pagan form of worship. In this level, so basically what you're saying is any form of religion is immediately Freemason. In this level, you also have to run underneath these coffins right after circling the giant eye. You can see in the background of above picture. In groups like Skull and Bones, you are locked into a coffin. Or it's just a scary level, and coffins are scary to kids. Now Mario descends to the lowest point of the castle. He heads far down and walks through the hall with these torchlights. It is a progressional subterranean hall. There are pools of water and more Masonic checkerboard flooring. This painting hangs at the end of the wall. We're not going into this level yet, but you have to pass through this painting to get where you're going. Who is this? It's not Bowser, and this enemy doesn't exist on this level or anywhere in the game. I guess just the random fire demon or something they made up for no reason. There are other places you can go before getting to the next level. Another small hall that leads you into a small room with two pillars just sitting there. In the game you hit these pillars, but there are two. These are the twin pillars Boaz and Jachin from Solomon's Temple, used in all occult stuff. Yep, that's... Look man, I just want the Vanish Cap, I don't want your Boaz pillars. The game calls them the pillars. Okay. The next level is a cave. Mario was just in Death World. Now he's going into this cave, another classically symbolic and archetypal place fitting with the death and rebirth theme of this stage. To enter this level, you immerse yourself in a pool. What is this liquid? I don't know, it looks like the Metal Mario liquid. Maybe because you get the metal hat in this level. This is the same hyper smooth, hyper fluid metallic texture we see on Mario when he gets the metal cap. It is not metal like steel, it's almost like the liquid metal. This is Quicksilver, otherwise known as Mercury. When Mario gets the metal cap, he literally becomes alchemical Mercury. Yeah. This is obviously the metal that Metal Mario is based on. It's pretty counterintuitive to use Quicksilver for a metal character like this before it possesses none of the qualities we associate with metal. It's liquid, soft, malleable. It only makes sense in this symbolic context. Or it's just metal that Mario puts on his body. When Mario gets the red cap on, he becomes the mythological Mercury. For a long time, people knew that when they were seeing an image of a man with a winged red hat, that they were looking at an image of Mercury or Hermes. Obvious. Nintendo actually has very specific rules, including religious imagery in games. Pagan stuff in the Roman sense is specifically allowed, and they break these rules for certain games, like Zelda. This is interesting, but don't want to detour too hard into this at this time. Why Mercury? Mercury is the pagan god and Kabbalistic/occult force or energy that is all about navigating between the realms or traveling between worlds. He can go below into the subterranean layers and up into the celestial realms. He is a messenger of the gods. This doesn't necessarily mean these people even believed in God, in a god called Mercury. In most occult work, it's much more loose, and concepts like this are used as energetic and informational anchors. For example, you can see the Mercury in this Tree of Life chart. It's number 8, Hod. The precedent for using a game like this as a dramatic ritual is extremely well documented. For example, in a Golden Dawn style magic, which informs basically all modern occult work. In some way, they play Rosicrucian chess, or Enotian chess, which is half game and half ritual magic. Books like Liber Null and Psychonaut discuss using technology in ritual magic, and these ideas are just a crystallization of cult concepts that have existed in the dark arts for a long time. In the above pick, Yeat's wife says the game was used to initiate her. That was last century, so just... That was last century? That doesn't make sense. Gonna go work for a while and pick this up again. Okay, he's back. The level behind the Quicksilver Gate is called the Hazy Maze Cave. That level sucks. It's a subterranean labyrinth. The doors have a single large eye on them first pick. No, they don't. Part of the labyrinth is full yellow smoke that chokes Mario. What is this? Hazy gas. That's why it's called Hazy Maze Cave, because there's a hazy maze in it. This choking fog is sulfur. Sulfur is the yellow color and releases this toxic yellow hazy smoke. Brimstone, as in fire and brimstone, is an archaic word for sulfur. Sulfur has always been associated with the devil and hell. Sulfur, smoke, and sulfur. Oh wait, what? With devil, hell, sulfur, smoke, and sulfur. You will always notice that Leviathan Cross, a satanic image that's somewhat popular now, is actually the alchemical symbol for sulfur. Sulfur is also a symbolic in alchemy as one of the three primes, one of three substances all things are composed of. Sulfur is the spirit, but more accurately is the omnipresent spirit of life, an omnipresent, potentially present in the universe. And the other primes are Mercury, which is mind, and salt, base matter or body. Okay, moving on. In encoded images, both literally and artistic, the mushroom was used as a symbol of this omnipresent spirit of life as they seem to arise from nothing. This is what Toad is. The race of human mushroom men is symbolic of the superphysical power you gather these mushrooms in the castle. Toad has been in since the first Super Mario Brothers. He's in this game because he's in this game. In this level, you also ride this creature. They make you ride a beast. The beast circles a small island. Okay, they added that creature because they wanted to show off the power of the 64, and then they put I forgot her name, put the monster in there. Next up, we have this lethal lava land level. Behind this devil painting, obviously hell. Note the eye enemy. He also fights three uniquely double-horned enemies here, and has to throw himself into a volcano. Ritual symbolic death in the underworld. This level also has an image of Bowser's face being cut up and rearranged that Mario is forced to walk over. In this classic MK Ultra style imagery, split face and fractured face and body imagery indicate breakdown of the psyche, exactly what is happening at this stage of the ritual. Next level, the real chthonic, I don't know. / subterranean death level is this desert. The desert in Western occult is the abyss that the adept must cross. It is the chasm of death. In occult Kabbalah, the path connecting Tifereth and Cather is Gimel, a camel crossing the abyss. You can see this screenshot that the pyramid is surrounded by 4 pillars, and there are black cubes outside the pyramid. Outside the pyramid has a star on the top, so there is light in the capstone of this pyramid. Black cubes outside black cubes outside. Black cube is something you'll have to look into on your own, because, sure. In this stage, Mario removes the capstone of the pyramid and goes inside. and the elite's mythology about themselves. Teachers like Plato and Pythagoras went to the pyramids and were initiated inside into some ancient mystery religions. This is part of why they use Egyptian symbolism. Inside the pyramid, Mario confronts another all-seeing eye boss. This time the eye is in the center of a giant hand. This is the last real subterranean level after the underground labyrinth and hell. Mario crosses the desert and goes into the pyramid, place of initiation. Last level before Mario goes into the higher level of the castle is Dire Docks. If you remember, this level it's kind of weird when you start floating in the air and are dropped into the water, and the level is really oddly designed, so you have to swim under and come up elsewhere. I like Dire Docks. It had the Bowser's submarine in it. That's the point of this level. That's also why it comes after all of these other levels, despite appearing earlier in the map. You've done the death-based ritual initiation downstairs, and now you have to wash yourself clean of it. It's kind of baptism to cement this. The entrance is a water wall. Now Mario goes up into the higher levels of the castle. These levels are all much lighter and brighter than the levels we have just been in. The game itself has the classic pagan/shamanic/platonic threefold world structure of celestial realm above, earth, then underworld below. Now, to get to the next level, the first level after you access the new part of the castle, after you've left the symbolic death below, you are forced to look into this mirror and observe for the first time the camera that has apparently been watching you the whole game. You already knew that the camera was watching you the whole game. This guy introduced for a second when the game starts, but this time, the first time you see him during gameplay, and the game forces you to notice and passively interact with him. The game is breaking the fourth wall and reminds the player that they are being observed. That was just a cool little... The mirror room was just a cool little way to, just show off the N64's technology. I mean, Lakitu's following you, and... Oh my gosh. A dramatic ritual does not require observers, but these people believe that the effects can be greatly enhanced. Sorry. When others are involved, even passively in it as observers. But this is the power they seek to harness, and encoding these themes into media and have millions partake of them. Entering this level requires Mario to essentially trust the unseen and to jump directly into this wall. You can also see the painting in the mirror. Mario is how an initiate and will be privy to secrets, occult powers, hidden machinations, etc. To go further, I'd have to mention a few things that are a little too controversial for me. Ooh, is it gonna get spicy? To just drop into a popular thread, plus if the point is for people to think about it's kind of cooler to leave it undone, so I'll wrap things up with a few questions and thoughts for the mind. Does Mario circumambulate? I still can't pronounce the word. Circumambulate anything else? What is it? Mario does get powers in these levels. What are they? There are other powers in this game. Are there other powers in this game? Where else do you see these occult powers? Not in the game. You see them elsewhere. What? Later level has a monkey at the top of a mountain. Screw that monkey. Or, yeah. Whichever one steals your hat in the level. What does the monkey represent in the modern social consciousness? As in, what do most people think when they think of a monkey? I think monkey. That's all I think of when I see a monkey. Anyway, how does this hook into what we've discussed here? Don't fall into the obvious trap on this one. What obvious trap? There's a flood level. Screw Wet Dry World. There's a flood level where you are forced to flood an unflood a city, and a rainbow level where the whole level is a giant rainbow. Screw Rainbow Ride. Freaking hard level. The last level also requires you to ride this rainbow through a floating building that has a Masonic floor, a table covered in pentacle coins, and a small furnace. What is this room? Lastly, oh yeah, for those of you who don't know, or haven't gotten all 120 stars, I guess it's just spoilers, but lastly, spoiler if you never beat the game, the last thing you do is meet Yoshi on the roof of the castle. Many have correctly pointed out that Yoshi is like a dragon and is serpentine. He's a dinosaur. This is true, but consider that Yoshi is specifically not a dragon. He is a dinosaur. Okay. Similar to the monkey, ask yourself what dinosaurs represent in the popular consciousness and how they fit into themes here. Specifically, if you think about how it relates to floating island areas presented above and other things, you might see what I'm saying, though I don't. That's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That was something else, man. I enjoyed reading it. I have nothing else to add other than this was hilarious. That some children's game could be hiding a ritual from you that you wouldn't even know because you're too busy having fun with one of the greatest games of all time. Alright, I'm gonna stop right here. If you liked what you saw, you should consider like, commenting, or subscribing. If you didn't like it, go ahead and report this video. This is me, Baby Couscous, and I am signing out.